On 31st of July 1992, TG311 departed from Don Mueang International Airport, Thailand, for Kathmandu, Nepal. There were 99 passengers and 14 air crews on board. Estimated flight time was 3.5 hours. While everything was normal as a regular flight, passengers and crews were prepared for a smooth and safe flight without realizing that this was the beginning of the last flight of their lives. After takeoff, the aircraft was heading northwest with a flight path over Myanmar, India, onto Nepal. At 26 minutes 45 seconds prior to the fatal accident of the flight, TG311 was within 50 nautical mile range from Kathmandu International Airport and initiated contact with the airport control tower for descent. Due to interference with Kathmandu local radio frequencies, the communications between TG311 and air traffic controller was very poor.
Kathmandu, Thai 311 request descent. Kathmandu radio, Thai 311. Kathmandu, Thai 311.
พวกเขาหายไปไหนกันหมดเนี่ย
311 Kathmandu, go ahead.
Request descent.
Thai 311, we have negative traffic at over flight level 150 meeting our jurisdiction. Except Royal Nepal Simera 0657. Level maintaining 370, report Romeo as cleared by Calcutta Control at over flight level 150.
Thai 311, copy, leaving 350 now.
There was a report from Kathmandu ATC of the severe weather condition in the southern part of the airport, which offer only 1.5 kilometers visibility. Meanwhile, weather condition in the other areas offer twice as good of the visibility. The southern part of the airport is normally used as a approach part for landing runway 02, which is much easier than landing on the opposite end, the runway 20. Nevertheless, due to the severe weather, to avoid risk, Kathmandu ATC had decided to instruct the pilot to switch to runway 20. It was known that approaching Kathmandu Airport from the south to land runway 02 was very convenient as the approach was straightforward. On the contrary, landing on runway 20 required a limited 4 nautical mile right turn radius around the airport to capture approach access, as a larger turn radius would be marginal to avoid an aircraft from hidden mountains in the area. Options for safety for this flight were available as the aircraft had enough fuel to divert to alternate airports nearby at ease or even return to Bangkok. During the moments that Thai 311 was flying through the clouds which drastically reduced visibility, Kathmandu ATC came up with the favorable information that runway 02 was then open for landing. Immediately, captain started to select flaps. Unfortunately, the flaps failed to follow the command, for flaps are a device to increase wings lift, which allows an airplane to fly at lower airspeed that helps landing on a short runway like Kathmandu Airport. During rectifying the flaps problem for 1 minute, the aircraft altitude was still maintained. Therefore, it was too high to land on runway 02. At this point of time, the captain decided to seek approval from Kathmandu to divert to Calcutta Airport, which had a much longer runway. Then all of a sudden, the flaps function resumed normal, encouraging the captain to to change his mind and tried to return to Romeo checkpoint, which was 35 nautical miles to the south in order to approach and land on runway 02. The captain requested permission from the Kathmandu ATC as per the following radio communications.
We'd like to left turn out again and back to join Sierra approach again. Back to normal now. Can we make a left turn to Romeo now?
Understand. Operation normal and you'd like to make an approach?
Affirmative.
Affirm.
Roger. Thai 311 clear Sierra approach. Report 10 GMB. Leaving 9,500.
At the moment we can land this time. We have to left turn back to Romeo again and start our approach again.
Roger. Thai 311 go ahead your DMB distance.
9 DME.
We are 9 DME 10,500 feet น่าจะลงได้เนี่ย
Understand. 9 DME 10,500 feet.
According to the radio communication previously, Kathmandu ATC had acknowledged Captain's attempt to return to Romeo Point by replying Roger, which did not mean that permission to do so was given. As permission to turn left to Romeo Point was not yet given, the captain had deliberately turned right and climbed to altitude 18,000 feet instead of his earlier intention to turn left to Romeo Point. Meanwhile, he selected to turn right to Romeo Point without reporting Kathmandu ATC. Unfortunately, at that moment, there was a Royal Naval Air Force plane approaching Romeo Point as well, which prompted the ATC to contact Thai 311 as follows.
Initially maintaining 11,500. Maintaining 11,500 due to traffic Royal Nepal 206 estimating Sierra India Mike 57 from Delhi. Descending to flight level 150 over.
11,000 เริ่ม descend again
ครับโอเคครับ
descend 11,500 we are now 8
At the particular moment, the pilots understood that ATC required them to backtrack heading north at 11,500 feet. In fact, ATC had permitted them to return right to Sierra at 11,500 feet. This had caused the aircraft to fly further north at 11,500 feet towards the mountainous area. Pilot felt uncertain about flight direction and kept inquiring the ATC for permission to turn to Romeo Point. But unfortunately, the ATC was not aware that the aircraft was heading north instead of heading south to Romeo Point as they understood.
Thai 311 understand you like to proceed Romeo to make an approach?
Affirm
Roger.
150วางระดับ
Kathmandu Thai 311 confirm we can proceed to Romeo now.
Roger, proceed to Romeo.
Technically, for ATC, the word Roger was only an acknowledgement that Thai 311 needed to proceed to Romeo Point, but not giving a permission to the pilot to turn to the point. Meanwhile, the aircraft was still heading north to the dangerous area where high mountains were ahead of the flight path. Possibility to survive became very limited. The co-pilot had inquired for the minimum en route altitude and minimum off-route altitude, which indicated safe altitude and safe off-route respectively. The aircraft was then on a flight path at 11,500 feet altitude, which was still safe according to MEA and MORA. However, the captain was still attempting to ask ATC for permission to turn the aircraft to Romeo Point every now and then.
We are heading 0 to 5, maintain 1500. We like to proceed to Romeo to start our approach again.
Sky 311 confirm maintaining 1500.
Affirm.
Maintain 1500 and go ahead your intention.
We like to proceed to Romeo. We got some technical problems concerned with the flight.
Sky 311 proceed to Romeo. Maintain 1500. Break. Roger Nepal 206 Kathmandu control. Descend to flight level 150. Report zip.
When permission was granted by the ATC, the co-pilot started to locate Romeo Point, which could be found in the FMC or Flight Management Computer by entering keyword Romeo into it. Generally, the FMC would search for the nearest Romeo point. Frustration started when FMC displayed two Romeo points, one in the north and another one in the south. The co-pilot was in doubt on which Romeo point they were heading for. While the co-pilot was working with his FMC for Romeo point, the FMC became inoperative, but this had prevented him to find the point. It was until the FMC resumed its function, the co-pilot was fully understand stressed to find a point soonest before the aircraft entering mountains. Eventually, the co-pilot could locate the Romeo point, but not before long, the FMC had developed another malfunction again. Stress came over the captain. Both pilots lost their concentration and became lacking in safety.
Roger Nepal 206 clear to Sierra. Holding maintaining 12,500. Reporting sound.
FFP มันไม่ทำงานนะ
Roger. Understand. Clear holding. Okay, Kathmandu Valley. Is it raining over the field? Affirmative, raining. Second. Affirmative, raining. Second, please. Affirmative, raining. Understand, it's raining. Affirmative, raining. พวกเรา Negative. Oh, okay, negative, raining. Understand. You could come over 10 dme and come from north for approach on 20.
มาทำข้างผมเลยมา
โอเค รู้สึกว่ามันหายไปสักพักหนึ่งแล้ว เดี๋ยวมันก็คงจะกลับมา
Negative. Royal Nepal 206. Await. Kathmandu this time rain. Roger. Okay, it's raining over the field. Okay, thank you.
Request visibility from Thai 311.
Kathmandu, what is the visibility? Thai 311, stand by for cover of person and visibility.
It took both pilots another 1 minute and 14 seconds to locate the right Romeo point, which finally gave them the fact that the aircraft was heading towards the mountains. An immediate turn back to the airport must be done. The fact that co-pilot had tried to warn Captain.
เรากำลังขึ้นเหนือใช่ไหมเนี่ย
เดี๋ยวเราก็เลิกกลับละการมันดู Thai 311 request right turn back to the airfield.
Terrain.
Thai 311, stand by for visibility.
Pull up.
Level change.
Thai 311, visibility towards south 3,500 meters now.
เลี้ยวกลับเถอะครับ
สัญญาณมันผิด